Well, it's Friday. It is the last Friday of... It is the first Friday, rather. The first Friday in the year 2020. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform. This is the pinnacle of all discussions where we take a look at issues as it affect our dear nation, Nigeria, and also as it affect our dear state, Abia State. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. It is the first edition for the year 2020. And of course, my name is Michael Oni. And well, this morning, it's a time of the year where we get several New Year messages from churches, from pastors, politicians, leaders of organizations, president, the governors. And of course, it is a time the New Year messages take a look at the 2019 in retrospect and of course, set an agenda for 2020. And of course, the governor of Abia State, Dr. Victor Okezie Ikpazu, of course, delivered his New Year message. It was on radio, several radio stations, and of course a television station, and a 30-minute longer New Year message. And this morning we're taking a look at that message. We will break it down, do the analysis from the government perspective and also from the opposition perspective, and just to get an idea of what the message looks like from all angles. And this morning I'm being joined by the special advisor on electronic media to the Abia State governor. Of course, he will be taking a look at it from the governor's angle, the government angle. Talk about Ugochukwu Emezue. He's a senior colleague. Good morning to you.
Yeah, nice to be here, Michael.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you very much. And of course, we will be joined on the phone by Mike Ozoimena. That's an old Progressives Congress member. He will be joining us on the phone later on the program. But let's quickly take a look at the message now. Headlines on the message had the likes of road construction, industries, agriculture, educational reforms, trade and commerce, and 2020 in focus. That's the highlight of the message. And let's quickly begin with when the governor stated that the Abia State 2020 appropriation bill was passed into law and commended the 7th Abia State House of Assembly for making the budget cycle start from the 1st of January 2020, which he said it is the first time in the history of the state. Commending the Abia State House of Assembly. I don't know what you make of that, De Ugo.
Well, the fact remains that in previous time it has not been easy to have the budget start from the January cycle to December. And of course, even at the federal level, you discover that most times it distorts the plan of government, And this time around, what the governor did was to ensure with his team that he was able to present the budget on time. And of course, to the greatest amazement and surprise of a lot of people, the House of Assembly took it up there. And before you could say Jack, they were able to pass it. And of course, the governor signed it into law.
But the question that will come to mind here is if it was well scrutinized. It also happened at the national level, where 37 billion naira was added for the renovation of the National Assembly complex. So the question of well scrutinized budget comes in place here. Absolutely.
You look at these are people who are cerebral. These are people who are intelligent, and of course, in their area of specialty, if you come to the House of Assembly, you have various committees, and those committees are people by those who have the requisite experience, those of them who are financial experts, just like you have the Commissioner of Finance in Abia State, who is a financial expert, a banker, not just a banker of note in Nigeria, internationally. So for them, they would have done a critical job. And don't forget that they started from day one to sit on that budget, especially at the committee level, and they've already done the defense by all the ministries. So it was a careful peruse budget before it was passed into law, and the governor also signed it into law. So for us, it's something that was done very, very well and accurately too.
Okay, let's move on straight to another headline that's in that particular speech delivered by the governor and on the 1st of January. Now, let's quickly take a look at road construction, which is actually a huge one here as Abia State is concerned. And the governor highlighted some of the completed road projects in Abia State, internal roads connecting Isialangwa North and South to Obinga local government area comprising Umwene Omoba Road. Hope I'm not murdering the name. And Umwene to Obikabia, Umwene to Umoka, and Fox Road in Aba is saying it is still in construction, and Osisioma underpass. But the delay in some of these projects, the governor said some things about the two challenges: limits in finances, climate belt, torrential downpour for onward 9 months calendar year. Let's listen to him speak, and of course we'll get back to the discussion.
State our developmental objectives, especially as it concerns road networks, are tied to two major factors. The factors are the limits of our finances as well as the climatic belts. As I speak, our contractors are on 14 sites around the state, working simultaneously, and the bulk of the projects are scheduled for completion before the rains return by the end of the first quarter of next year. It is important for me at this juncture to explain the circumstances surrounding delay in completion of some of our very important projects. In Abia State, our developmental objectives, especially as it concerns road networks, are tied to two major factors. The factors are the limits of our finances as well as the climatic belts we are located in. Our state is faced with a myriad of challenges, all struggling for the attention and allocation of funds at our disposal. We will continue to do our best to creatively manage our resources to meet our pressing needs. The second challenge is that our times and seasons, which puts Abia State in the thick of the rainforest belt in Nigeria, and we witness torrential downpour of upward of 9 months in a calendar year.
Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue, you heard the governor speak there, highlighting problems of finances, torrential downpour for onward 9 months calendar year. What is so peculiar about rainy season in Abia State in relation to road construction? Because that has been the narration right from the onset, maybe right from when I've been in this state.
Well, that wouldn't make you not to say not that you have not also been in Nigeria, because it's a narration everywhere.
Okay.
Every state governor, during this period, find it very, very difficult to do a major road construction. What we usually do then is to look at the drainages, because that is when we try to see how these drains are channeled, so that at the end of the day it will give you the roadmap and where these things are done. So it's not peculiar to Abia anyway, it's almost everywhere. Even the federal government, you discover that when it's rainy season, they find it difficult to do major road work. So it is something that cuts across states, and I believe that, like the governor have said, with the issue we have during the rainy season, and at some point it becomes so heavy that you can't even bring out your equipment. So that one is something that is natural and nobody can stop it.
Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue, the question, I will get straight to Michael Zemina, because I'm sure he will like to counter you in some of the things you've mentioned problem here. But the question that will come to mind here is, are other states not constructing roads? That's the question many persons will be asking. Why is it that rain is being used to say, well, we've not been able to move as far as possible here in Abia State? That's a question many will be asking.
The governor gave you two factors.
Okay, limit in finances.
So I don't know why you are not highlighting that one. You are basically talking of the rains, which of course is not of our own making. Okay. So any state governor that tells you that it is during the heavy downpour that he constructs the most beautiful road and most solid road in his state, good luck to that person. So every state has its own unique problem. So we are talking of the issue of a natural factor that you think that is not, quite plausible. It is. And I have told you that during that period, what we do is to do our drainage channels, and you think that it is not proper. So what we are saying is that good luck to any governor who wants to, construct roads under the rain, and the water and everything will be there to have its own effect on it. But the major thing, like the governor said, is finance. Okay. You know what it costs to construct 1 kilometer of a road, and of course when these things are done, it looks as if it is not magic. The governor has to look for money, and of course the allocations that comes to the state. So whatever that is being done is done and tied to what we receive. And that is why the governor is saying that we are paying more emphasis on our internally generated revenue. Because what we get from Abuja, from all ramifications, cannot even be enough to take care of other needs of the state. Like he says, there's a whole lot of contending issues that requires the attention financially of the state. Okay. So when the governor says finance, we are saying that the finances are not too good to do everything, but we are doing so much to ensure that we generate so much in our internally accruing revenue, so that it will help us to augment what we get from the federal government and do the necessary thing. And don't also forget that we are also trying to, I'm sure this year, by God's grace, most of those efforts the governor has made in the area of partnering with international organizations, especially the World Bank, is coming into fruition.
Okay.
So we are looking at that also vis-a-vis what we have on ground.
I would like to take you on specifics.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue, later on the program, talk about the Fox Road in Aba and the Osisioma underpass. But we have Mr. Michael Zoemena joining on the phone this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much. It's Michael Oni. I do have Mr.
Okay, Michael, you well done.
Yeah, thank you. I do have Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue right in the studio with me, a special advisor on electronic media. And of course, we're taking a look at the governor's message and of course, setting an agenda for 2020. You're a member of the opposition, All Progressives Congress, and we're looking at the highlight of that message: road construction, industries, agriculture, educational reforms, trade and commerce, and the 2020 in focus. And we're taking a look at road construction presently. The governor highlighted some of the internal roads connecting Isialangwa North and South, and some of the roads are completed. And of course, highlighted some roads that are in construction and talked about the delay. The delay in completion of some of this project, and the governor talked about the peculiarity of the rainy season in Abia State in relation to road construction, and of course highlighted the limits in finances. And I'm sure you want to react to that before we move on. Mr.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. In the first place, I want to say that everyone in Abia knows that we are in trouble. Everyone in Abia. Do we start from payment of salary?
We will get to that point, because the governor also mentioned salary payment. So road construction first.
First of all, I want to say that the government should accept failure. Mr. Mike, I am presently at Ebonyi State, and if you come here, you will be shocked to what the governor. Yes, a PDP governor, so I'm not being partisan here, who is doing with very little. I'm sure also that Ebonyi State gets almost half of what Abia is getting.
Limits in finances as mentioned by the government. Don't you think it's something to consider here?
If you listen to me, I just said that Ebonyi gets almost like a quarter of what Abia gets. Abia is an oil producing state. And so, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a government that doesn't know what priority is. Okay, look at First Road that they constructed. Even before they finished it, the First Road went bad again. So, what are we talking about? Which road in our back is passable? Yes, we thank God for dry season now. That's why we are moving around. Please, Mr. Michael, this government should come clean and apologize to Abians for failing.
Well,
that's what we're saying.
Before we move on now, I would like us to be very specific here. It was also mentioned that torrential downpour for onwards 9 months calendar year is also one of the hindrances affecting road construction here in Abia State.
Michael, I just mentioned Ebonyi. I don't want to talk about Anambra State. I just mentioned Ebonyi. Ebonyi has the worst terrain when you talk about terrain in the whole of the southeast, if you have been to Ebonyi. But my dear brother, if you get there, you will marvel at what the man is doing with little resources that he has. Okay? So the rainy season is not a hindrance for anything. For the expressway that APC government is building, they are still building on the rain too. The same Abia State.
Expressway for how many years? Now, for how many years has this done the expressway?
We will get to you, Mr. Ugo. Yes, go ahead. quickly.
No, if the road expressway, if you from Omaha now to Okigwe, you will just almost like close your eyes and you're driving.
Just that portion.
Just a moment.
That you are celebrating.
I would like you to respond to that.
Okay, let me first of all say, the man that is talking in question, I don't know the faction of APC he belongs to, because there are two factions. And the man in question is not from. Is not. Let me learn.
But he's a member of the opposition party.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen. I know where he's coming from. He's not even from Abia State. So when people are criticizing and telling you of Ebonyi State and other, I know what I want to lay a background before I attack him, so that people will know from where he is coming from.
Let's attack the issue.
I will attack the issue, but let me also lay bare and unfold the personality that I'm dealing with. Now, having said that,
just a moment.
Having said that, I gave him time when he was talking. Having said that, if he doesn't want to talk,
we will have to go for a break.
There's nothing like going to a break. Let me answer him. No. Let me answer him.
Okay.
One, he said that he's using Ebonyi as an example. Do you know that in Ebonyi, the number of people that are civil servants are quite less than Abia State?
Gentlemen, let's go for
so what are we talking?
When we return, I will take you. I will take you because
paying civil servants in Abia State than in Ebonyi. There are just few of them in the civil service.
Just a moment. Now, I will have to go for a break here, gentlemen. I will have to go for a break. Let's put our house in order. Let's go for a break here.
Let us make criticism.
At Flo 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business, high-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flo949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flo Fm Tv. Flo 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
And
all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It is still the platform right here, first edition, and it's getting interesting. But let's get back to the discussion. We were talking about the delay in the completion of road project here in Abia State, and of course, you heard what Engineer Michael Zemena said. And of course, you're responding to that. I just needed to put the house in order because we won't be making sense if we're all talking at the same time. Please let us.
But you know that when he was talking, I allow him to.
All right, Mr. Ogo. Let's get straight to the business of the day now.
Yes.
You want to reply to some of the things he
said. He talked of Ebonyi State, my brother. Ebonyi State is just there in Abakaliki. Do you know how many civil servants that they have in Ebonyi State compared to Abia State? Do you know that our salary load in Abia State, Ebonyi State does not come close to it? So that means we have a whole lot of finance in our civil service here than Ebonyi State.
So it's about the wage bill?
That's exactly. So how many people are civil servants in Ebonyi State? I'm a journalist, it's not. I can tell you for sure. And he's talking of Ebonyi State. Ebonyi State is just a single capital state. Just Abakaliki there. What's the landmass of Abakaliki? But we're talking here of Enyimba, Aba. We're talking of Umuahia. We're even talking of developing Ohafia and Bende. So when you are looking at all these things, we are spreading development, unlike in Ebonyi State where the governor is concentrating. He is a PDP governor. I'm not trying to say he's not doing. He is doing well. But now let's talk about our roads. If you come to Abia State, the governor has constructed not less than 78 roads that are across the state, and of course majority centered in Abia. And we have mentioned some of those roads, which we don't have time to start regurgitating again.
In the year in review now, I mean 2019.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So the governor has said it, and we are saying, look, trying to do these roads, we have limitation in terms of money. Is the man from APC telling me that he knows more of our finance than their own finance? I don't know if you're getting me. So the governor had laid bare that we have challenges in terms of finance. And of course, we are doing this based on what we have. And I've told you, we are partnering with other international organizations. Now, let me even tickle your fancy. He's talking of governor coming to apologize to him. Apologize to him for what? Dr. Kezi Bazo is doing extremely well in this state. Now let me even tickle your fancy a bit.
Okay.
An APC before the election was starting, he's talking of road construction. An APC man in Ganama came to Abia in Ohohodia and brought equipment to start off a road. What happened? They abandoned the road. I'm just giving you an example.
All right.
But this is the same governor that went from that Ohuhu to now build a road from that place to Osa here.
Okay,
so these are some of the things that are glaring. And let me also tell you, most of the bad roads. No, he's in APC. Now listen. Can you listen, Michael?
We move on to agriculture.
No, can you?
We have other
Michael, can you listen? The roads he's talking of that are in Abia State are mostly federal roads.
Okay,
mostly federal roads are being controlled by APC. So what have they done?
Engineer Michael Zoimena, I'd like you to respond just in 2 minutes, please, so that we go straight to other sectors.
I have kept very quiet for him to speak. So
thank you very much for keeping.
That's what you should do.
Thank you very much.
Now, let me say to him, if he talks about the overbloated workforce,
it's not overbloated.
Let him respond, please. Let him respond. Thank you.
It is still the failure of governance for you not to know how to cut your coat according to your cloth. A government that is saying will first of all cut its coat according to its cloth, so that you can have money for capital projects. Abia State, almost 75 or 80% of their budget is recurrent. So how can you perform? That's why I say this government should please say sorry to Abians and resign, because they have lost it. Like I said, all the roads they have been imposed that they say they built are all dilapidated as we speak. Now, talking about Ebony, where I went for a meeting, Southeast APC meeting yesterday was in Nuburu, not even in Abakaliki. So whatever I say I saw in Ebony was in Nuburu.
Engineer Mike, you're so very specific with using you're using Ebony as a comparison here. I don't know why you. Okay. Okay.
If I talk about Anambra,
let's attack the issue, Mr. Mike. Please. All right, go ahead. Engineer Mike. No. We should not go into personal attack here, please. Let's gentlemen, please. Let's be very specific here. Let's deal with the issues here. Engineer Mike, you mentioned
you know why I use the body.
Okay.
You know why I am giving I don't want to talk about it.
And it's just a single step.
Let's allow him. I will get back to you, Mr. Ugo. Yes, go ahead, please. You have a minute.
If I talk about Enugu, somebody will tell me that Enugu was the former capital of the state, that everybody...
We invested in Enugu before coming here.
Mr. You won't allow... We will have to go for another break here. Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue. Okay, go ahead, please. Yes.
Mr. Mike, you know why this government is a failure? Because they don't even allow people to talk to them.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to another issue now.
My government is a failure. You are the failure.
Let's move on to other issues now.
Engineer
Mike, Engineer Ozoimena,
he's not an engineer. Mr. I can tell you that.
No, that's personal. With Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue, let's take it easy.
Why would he use such a derogatory language?
Let us attack the issue. Let's attack the issue.
Don't do that,
please.
Don't do that.
All right, we have to go for a break now. When we return, we go straight to other issues now. We're taking it personal here. Let's go to other issues.
At Flo 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flo949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flo Fm Tv. Flo 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
Well, it is still the platform right here on Flo 94.9 FM. Now, let's take a look at some other issues here this morning. We're taking a look at the governor's message, and of course, it's been a heated argument between Engineer Michael Zoimena, because he likes to be called an engineer, of course. And of course, Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue right here in the studios of Flo 94.9 FM. Now, let's get back. I will begin with you this time around.
Mr. Mike is insulting to say what you just said, that he likes to be called.
Okay, he's an engineer. He's an engineer. Okay, apologies. Anyways, let's go straight to some other issues now. Industrialization, and of course, we tie it with agriculture. Engineer Michael Zoimena right here, right on the phone now. Let's go straight to industrialization and agriculture. Well, it was highlighted during the governor's speech that 5 rice milling clusters have been built in Abia State, and of course, aggressive marketing of Osikapa Abia, which has been marketed beyond even outside Abia State, and
Absolutely.
of course. Poultry clusters at Unsulu, that's in Eastern Langua South local government, where over 50,000 birds were harvested during this Yuletide, and the project was executed in conjunction with the CBN and UPS farm. So I would like you to take a look at this revitalization of the Golden Guinea Breweries PLC, as also highlighted in that message. What is your make? I mean, what will you make of the industrialization and agriculture here in Abia State during the 2019 the year in review?
You know, it is also very fallacious to say Golden Guinea was done by the government. It wasn't done by the private.
Which one?
Okay,
Which one?
Golden Guinea Breweries is a private effort, so it's not a government company. As we speak, it's not a government company. Everybody knows that. I have also gone in there, you know, because as an engineer, I have also tried. I have done one or two things with them there, so it's not a government agency. I know who owns Golden Guinea today.
But you will agree with me that if the enabling environment wasn't created, there won't be.
If you know, when it started to rebuild, when it bought the Golden Guinea, it was during the government, the tenure of Pierre Oji. Okay. And so
you will address the issue, Mr. Go ahead, please.
For you to add it as things you've achieved is fallacious. That's what I'm saying. It's not true, because you need to tell us what you have done. Now, every state government will look at where they have comparative advantage. Abia should have invested more on palm oil, where they have comparative advantage in the country. Okay? Now, if you talk about, you read out things that here everybody knows that it's not true. You know, if you do the satellite, where is it in the market? Who has bought? Like, have you bought one?
Okay. What about the Osikapa Abia, the rice in question?
That's what I say. Where is it in the market? Is it in Aba or where? Where can we buy it?
Okay.
You know, that is the point. You know, so me, I am not here to begin to rant and begin to call people's name. I am here on issues. When I say a government, I just said which is a PDP government. It's not an APC government. So we have been. If it's doing well, we'll say it's doing well. But if it's not doing well and he's claiming to, we will tell him no, it's not true, sir. Okay. So as far as that is concerned, this government should first of all sit down. If it's not written, it does not exist. Every state government will first of all sit and tidy up, but put their priorities on paper.
All right, engineer.
Then you can deal with it one by one.
Engineer Mike, look, I would like him to respond. That's talking about the special advisor on electronic media to the governor, Mr. Ugochukwu Emezue. You heard what Engineer Michael Zemena said there. I don't know how you want to respond to this. Osikapa Abia, he's saying there is nothing like that in the market. 5 rice milling clusters, and the Golden Guinea Breweries, that it's a private investment and not a government industry. So,
Mike, can you see now why I say that some people who are not from our state, they don't know what goes on in Abia State? Can you now understand that? When I said it, you thought I was joking.
Let's attack the issue now.
That's the issue. That is the issue. The issue is that the young man does not know what goes on in Abia State.
Let's attack
now.
the issue.
Let me tell you. He said there is nothing like Osikapa Abia. Can you now look at his follies? One, you and I, as a journalist, you follow the governor when we went to Acha Bend and you saw these rice mills, and these rice mills we are not saying that it's Abia that owns it, but we are supporting these people. They are owning this business, and we are now marketing it, and it is everywhere. So I'm sure even Abians who are listening will now understand that this person is saying something that he does not know, that is Osikapa Abia rice. In fact, because of the closure of the border, which of course affected everybody, which I've also said, well, what Mr. President, though it might not be fair to all of us, but this time around has turned to our own golden opportunity to market our own. Today, let me even say it, somebody from APC, a high-ranking person, and if you push me, I'll mention the person's name, through one of his persons, demanded for Osikabia rice 2,000 bags.
Okay,
I don't know if you're getting me.
Revitalization
now, listen. Why I also tell you that this person doesn't know what is going on. We have never claimed that Golden Guinea is our own. We didn't say that. But let it be known that it is one of them that is in APC under his tenure that Golden Guinea was sold to. He doesn't want to mention, he doesn't even know. It was sold to the former governor of Rivers State. That is Peter Odili. It's Peter Odili that owns Golden Guinea. And what the governor has done to support during TLG, he also tried to help that place to come up. Because we believe that it is a private concern in Abia State, and when it comes on board, it will help our people. So when this governor Ibazu came on board, he also helped. There is not a lot of things that will come out to say, but we know that there are things the governor has done to help that place come up.
Okay.
Do you understand? So when he's telling you, we are not claiming that is why I laugh at the person when we don't claim that Golden Guinea. But I can tell you that it is under one of them that is in APC that the Golden Guinea was sold.
So that we have time.
So when people that are not from our state, they stay in their state.
Let's move on to another sector. Yes, I can hear you, Engineer Mike. Just a moment. We need to move on to other issues now. We have so many things mentioned by the governor during the New Year message, and of course the educational reforms too. The governor mentioned that first position in this secondary school certificate examination for the 4th year running, and the Abia State University running 4 complete sections without any form of disruption, which is also been highlighted here as an achievement. And also the committee set up to explore the feasibility of setting up a University of Science and Technology in Aba, and the sanitization of private school system in Abia State. Engineer Michael Ozoemena, what is your assessment?
And then Abia Poly also ran very well, smoothly, 100%, right? Abia Poly is also running very well. The workers are being paid, the staff are being paid, the lecturers are being paid. Is that what they are telling us? At least, you know, it's good for government to make broadcast, but it has to be predicated on truth and not falsehood. So people can listen to you and say, okay, we've done this right, we've not done that right. Okay, now this is the government that has slowly at Abia State University and then Abia Poly in Aba. And you're talking about establishing another one. When Abia Poly has, the workers there are almost dying of hunger. They are not being paid. The man who is talking there, who is shouting and
no. You don't use such derogatory words. Please, let's be very careful with our words.
He has been calling my name.
I also cautioned him too. So let's not let's attack the issues here. Thank you.
Like I am happy when we dwell on issues. Okay.
Very important.
The issue
very important.
Yeah, exactly. So I am saying to you that yes. In terms of the secondary education, nobody will say that the Adians didn't take first in secondary school exam. Nobody will say that. Okay. But if you talk about tertiary education, we will tell you that look, it is abysmally, it's an abysmal failure.
All right. Okay. You heard him speak. He said educational reforms. It's an abysmal failure. He mentioned Abia Poly and some other institutions.
You know, we've done a surgical operation in Abia State Polytechnic, and the results are yielding. So we are not talking about that because we are confident in what we are doing. Now, let me tell you, can he dispute that Abia State University, which is our flagship in law, we've been taking first in almost every discipline. We are coming out tops in the nation. You see, these are the envy that we see from when people talk about these things. We are not saying that we are there yet.
Mr.
Do you understand?
So
what
there are high
saying
points. You will agree there are high points and also low points.
Exactly.
We have the College of Education in Arochukwu.
We are not.
And also
we are not disputing that, Michael.
Okay.
You see, when some of these things are said, we don't run away from this. We have challenges. There's no running away from that. We are addressing those challenges. Who doesn't have a challenge? Even from a point that he's making references to. There are challenges, and it's what we are confronting. We are not saying we don't. We have challenges, and I have told you we are doing surgical operations there, and of course we are believing that it will yield. So anybody that is saying that it is not yet Uhuru. So as far as we are concerned, we are making steady progress.
We can say in 2020
it is a work in progress, and in 2020, like the governor said, we're going to see greater achievements. Like we said, we have been taking first in WAEC all this while. You cannot tell me that Ebonyi is taking first in WAEC or leading in school enrollment. So whatever we are doing, we are saying it as it is.
Okay. All right. Quickly. Just a minute. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Now, when the brilliance of individual students comes to bear, and then a government who has been paying secondary school teachers for almost like 8 to 11 months, will now take credit for the brilliance of students from private schools.
So are you saying, just a moment, Engineer Mike, are you saying that the feat achieved in the secondary school is from the private sector and not...
of course, that's what I'm saying. Let him mention the school. Now, I am telling you now that even the teachers in the private school, in the public schools, have not been paid for like 8 months to 11 months. It is there. Everybody, I have credentials that are teachers there.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I answer you?
You can.
That is the only place that you anchor. They've been anchoring their arguments, and I can tell you, Michael, with utmost confidence, that we have started paying our secondary school teachers. Yes, we have challenges. You see, we don't run away from this. We don't shy away. If we have all the money, we will do this. We are having challenges. But the Commission of Information has addressed this issue. We've started paying them. And he said, the areas we are owing them, we are going to address them. So there is a headway. There is a head start. So those of them that are using this as one of their issues, very soon, in the next 3 months, I can tell you, APC in Abia State, which is dead, cannot have any issue to talk about again.
All right. Let's quickly, before we anchor the discussion.
They are factionalized.
Gentlemen, before we anchor the discussion this morning,
we have 5 minutes to go.
Definitely, we will anchor the discussion this morning. Before we anchor the discussion this morning, I would like to tie the salary payment, because there are issues here in Abia State. We've got a complaint. Of course, tie the issue of the issue of salary payment.
Yes.
We understand that some MDAs are up to date.
Yes.
But there are issues with some parastatals, secondary school teachers, like you said.
We've talked about it.
So, how can you score the government, and let's see what let's set an agenda for 2020 before we wrap up things here because of our time,
Mike,
and also of course the pensioners too.
Yes, with the commissioner of
we will get to you, engineer. Just a moment, we will get to you.
Let me even say this issue of pensioners started from Ojos Okal, who is their party member, who when he was in this state. Let this my friend dispute that. It's not a today issue.
I'm happy you mentioned
good. So it's my friend. Absolutely, it's my friend. Though it's not from my state. It's my friend.
I'm happy you mentioned.
And Mike is my friend. But in all honesty, Mike, this issue of pensioners, honestly, there is nobody that will not want, after working, that you don't want to get your money. I don't know if you're getting me, but this is an issue that the government is dealing with, that preceded from Ojos Okalo. TLG came, played his part, and OKC Basu is saying playing his part. So it's not like, it is we that started it. What we are saying is that we are gradually looking at it, and the finance commissioner will come here to tell you the template he has. We're not running away from it, and nobody will tell you that we're happy about it. So it is being addressed, and it will be addressed. Michael, I can tell you, in the next 5-6 months, bring me here. I am telling you that I'm bring my friend back again.
Okay,
so the issue is being addressed.
I'll put this down in my calendar.
Yes, put it down. And bring Mike. No, he wouldn't come from. He wouldn't be on the phone. He will be sitting here with me.
Engineer Mike, do you agree to come back here? Engineer Mike, do you agree to come back here in the next 5 months or 6 months or thereabout? To come and
yes, let him not on phone. Let him come here and sit down with me.
Okay, that will be very interesting then. So
I prefer to see face to face with my friend than there.
Okay, I'm happy you mentioned he's your friend too. So
when you start talking about who is not from Abia or who is from Abia,
all right,
that's what I
Engineer Mike, you are my friend.
All right,
come and join PDP. Your party is finished.
Engineer Mike, like you to respond to that quickly before we wrap up things here this morning. Yes.
Please, I have said so. I have said before. The first thing the government does is to sit down and take stock. I mean, President Buhari, the government of President Buhari, which is the APC government, that gives the money on a monthly basis without ceasing. And is not owing anybody anything. Not pensioners, not anybody.
It's not true. You know that.
Please.
You know what I do.
Please, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, sir.
Go ahead.
Please, sir. If you're a journalist, Michael, in Abia, pensioners are being owed like 2-3 years.
Why did this start? When did this start? Mike, okay, let me ask you.
You will respond to that.
Engineer Mike.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Can you be sincere? When did this start? When did it start? No.
The question, he made just a moment, Mr. Ogochukwu Emezue. Let me handle this. Let me handle this. Engineer Mike. Engineer Mike, of course, and I appreciate that. Engineer Mike Ozoimena, he mentioned here that the issue of pensioners started way back in Oju's Kalu's tenure. No, Mr. Ogochukwu Emezue, let me handle things here. All right, go ahead. So he made some allegations here. Okay.
What is government, Mr. Michael? You take credit for the one done well, and then you get vilified for the one not done well. My brother, ask him to. When excuse me, it did not start from Otikalu. Otikalu also was beating himself that he was not owing anybody any salary.
No, we are talking about pensioners.
He was owing.
Go ahead, Engineer Mike Ozoimena. Go ahead. Quickly, let's wrap up things here.
That is where he started.
Go ahead.
Oh, God.
All right. Let's wrap up things here. Our time is fast spent. Quickly, set an agenda. In a minute, set an agenda for the administration, PDP-led administration here in Abia State. Before I let you go this morning,
the agenda. First of all, this government that is in Abia should first of all sit down and plan. Governance is not a haphazard thing. That's why you have Vision 2020 this, 2030. That's what the government should do. Sit down and plan. See, where are we? What resources do we have? The other day, they employed almost 3,000 workers in the local government system. And you are only the ones that are already working. So what are we talking about here?
All right, thank you.
This government should help us by coming down and planning properly so that the little resources that we have can go around to everybody and everybody.
All right, Engineer Michael Zoimena, I want to really appreciate your time this morning, and of course,
not giving me time to
of course, you will respond. Not respond, you will set an agenda for 2020, the year in focus now.
Well, so, as far as we are concerned, you know, when you are a state governor, this is a governor that has done 4 years and is in the first year of his second term. We are believing that by God's grace, we are not saying we are there, but it wasn't how it used to be. We are moving ahead gradually. Abia is a work in progress, and we are telling those of them, you know, when you lose an election, I can sympathize with my brother where they are coming from in the state. When you lose an election, you know, it pains so much. But we are saying even his own man, Uchoga, he is also part of, you know, this time around, he's working with us.
All right, Mr. Ogochukwu Emezue, special advisor on electronic media, and of course, I hope to see you here.
Definitely, we'll be here. And when he comes, I will give Mike Osikapa rice.
All right.
Mike, I have one bag for you.
All right, I'm happy. I'm happy you're laughing at the end of this. It's been an.
Mr. Mike, please, before you
there is no time again. I have to wrap up things here. Engineer Mike. Engineer Mike. Okay, let's wait it then, and if you will accept the gift of
Mike, Happy New Year.
Engineer Mike, thank you very much. And of course, Mr. Ogojukwu Emezue, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time this morning. Many thanks to the producer of the program, Samson Eze. He stepped in severally, of course, to put things in order. I want to really appreciate you. It's the first edition of the program, The Platform, right here on Flo 94.9 FM. The program returns on Monday when we bring up another issue as it concerns our dear state, Abia State, and also Nigeria, our dear nation. My name is Michael Oni. Do have yourself a wonderful Friday.